The Road Not Taken. This well-known poem is about making choices and the choices that shape us. Robert Frost is an American poet who writes simply but insightfully about common, ordinary experiences. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth.
Once the poet was walking down a road in a yellow wood. Here, yellow wood means a forest with leaves which are wearing out and they have turned yellow in color, which resembles the autumn season. It represents a world full of people living for many years who are older than the poet. The poet says that he is one person who can choose one of these two roads. He kept standing there and looked at the path as far as he could see. He did so as he wanted to know how the road was and whether it will be suitable for him or not. He was able to see the path till from where it curved after, covered with dense growth of plants and bushes. Even in our day-to-day life, we have many alternatives, but we have the option to choose only one. We take time to think of what is good and bad, the positive and negative effects of what we do. Will it be suitable or not? Then we come into a conclusion and take the final decision to what we should choose.
Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same.
After looking at the path for a long time, the poet started walking on another path. In this stanza, he says that just as fair, which means he felt that both paths were equally good and started walking on one of them. The poet chose it as he felt that the path had grass, which means not many people had walked on this path earlier, and it looked grassy and wanted wear. Here, the meaning of wanted wear is had not been used by any people earlier. After the poet walked on the path for some distance, he felt that both the paths were similar and had worn out in the same manner. When we come across the real life situations, we choose the path we wish. But whatever we choose, all have the same benefits, drawbacks, difficulties, struggles, and challenges. And to survive in this world, we must face them. According to our opinion or choice, we feel that what we have chosen is good. But it is not that way.
And both that morning equally lay. In leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back.
Now, the poet refers to the morning time. He says that the paths were similar that morning. Leaves were fallen on both the roads and no one had stepped on them. He confirms this because they were still green in color. So, that day, he planned to step on another path and kept the first path for another day. The poet knew that one way will lead to another way, but he still proceeded. After starting his walk on the path, he knew that he cannot return or go back on the choice he had made. We should feel happy with the choice we have taken and must be ready to move ahead because we will never get a chance to return back and take other option.
I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere, ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost.
The poet says that he will speak about this incident in future, that he reached a point where he had two options for him. He chose the road which has been less travelled by people. The decision he took has decided his future. As like the poet, humans will also relate their experiences and say that once I had two options, I chose the one which I decided and that made me reach this level.